I finally be happy once blank. I lived all my teenage years and early 20s like this. And let's just say that I was pretty miserable. I hadn't realized I was treating happiness like something I had to earn instead of something that I was already allowed to feel. Hey there, I'm Paolo. If you're new to the channel, I talk about topics such as gaining clarity about what you value, using failure to your advantage, and building the courage to live the life you want. Today, I want to talk about conditional happiness, which is the trap that we all fall into and that keeps making us postpone our happiness, that makes us put our happiness on hold until you end that sentence. So here's what conditional happiness generally looks like. You set a goal and you tell yourself you'll finally be happy only when you achieve it. Then you struggle to stay motivated and make progress because you have locked the happiness behind this future achievement. Then, if you even do manage to achieve the goal, you don't feel as happy as you thought you would be. So, what do? You set new goals and new conditions that, once you meet them, will make you happy this time for sure. Actually, you may not even set new goals. Many times people just decide that something will probably make them happy when they have it, but then stop there without taking action. And the harsh truth that I realized one day at random when I was at the supermarket is that even if we did take action every time we set new conditions, which we don't, the chase would never end. Because we can always, if you want to, we can always create new conditions to meet. You can always keep real happiness just out of reach, always right after the next thing. It's like being on a treadmill that never stops. Here's another reason why conditional happiness is so bad. It actually makes it harder to achieve your goals. Because, like I already mentioned, when you tie your happiness to some future achievement, you're basically saying that now is not the time to be happy. But that only makes it impossibly hard to stay motivated. I mean, think about it. If you're miserable throughout the whole journey, realistically speaking, how long can you stick with it? How long can you keep yourself motivated and consistent before giving up? So you end up being stuck in this loop where you can't be happy until you succeed, but you can't succeed because you're too miserable to stay consistent and motivated. So how do you get out of this? I could give you a whole list of things that will make you happier, and maybe I will, but not now. Today, there's only one thing I hope you can take away from this video, because this one thing influences everything else. You are the only one responsible for your happiness. This can be an uncomfortable truth to accept, especially if not just you, but also the people around you engage in conditional happiness. But you see, no one else will make you happy if you don't want to. Not your partner, not your kids, not your friends, and not even future you when you achieve your goals. Now, I stop you right there before you misunderstand what I'm trying to say and bring your attention back to the part where I say, if you don't want to, okay? So, let me tell you a story about a good friend of mine. This friend, which we'll call another name like Ben or Alex, let's just go with Ben. Ben has told me something that I can only describe as really terrible and tragic. Anyway, he's given me permission to share his story, and I'm really grateful because this story perfectly illustrates what I'm trying to show you. So, a little bit of context first. Ben is a great guy. And when I say great, I really mean it. He is always kind, altruistic, he makes everyone around him feel at ease and positive, and he is hardworking and ambitious, and he always thinks of what's best for his parents. but without sacrificing his own happiness in the process. And that's a crucial part. Because apparently he has a big flaw in the eyes of the adults and elders of his family. He is in his late 20s and he's single. And in many families, having a partner is like the biggest status symbol, right? As such, his father despises him because all his cousins are either already married or at least already have a girlfriend or boyfriend. So, despite how good of a person he is and how much good he has done for his own family, his being single and the fact that he couldn't just find a girlfriend like his father told him to, regardless of whether he actually liked the girl, is such a great source of shame that apparently he deserves to be judged and bullied even by his own father. As his friend, I actually already knew parts of the story, which is why hearing that it's actually worse than I thought, yeah, terrible and tragic, like I said. And yet, Ben is still the kind of optimistic, kind, altruistic guy as always. Because, like he says, that's who he is. He won't get depressed or lose motivation or lose his self confidence just because someone other than himself has arbitrarily decided that he should be ashamed of himself. And that's one of the most important truths in life. When you blame someone for how you feel, you give away your power. You let your mood be dependent on something external that you can't control. And if you're anything like my friend's father or many other people like him all over the world, you may also be making someone else responsible for your emotions. Now, people often don't like the idea of taking responsibility because they feel like it's constraining. In reality, it's freeing and empowering. Accepting that you are responsible for your happiness gives you the freedom and the power to choose to be happy now, regardless of circumstances or what other people say. It makes you realize that you don't have to wait until the next goal or until someone else does something that makes you happy. You already have the power to be happy or unhappy right now. It's your choice to make because you are in charge. Like my friend's father, he could decide to feel happy about having such a great son and say, okay, so what if he gets married later than his cousins? But instead, he chooses to be unhappy. He chooses to let gossip taint how he views his own son. That's his choice, even if he convinces himself that it's his son's fault. Similarly, Ben could decide to let his father's words destroy his self-esteem and demoralize him and just give up on everything. No one would blame him. No one would judge him for reacting like that. But he chooses differently. Because the power to be happy is in his own hands, not in the judgmental words of other people. I'm not saying ignore your problems and pretend everything is fine. That's just toxic positivity. What I am saying is stop letting your happiness be at the mercy of things outside your control. Yes, society makes you feel like your worth depends on your achievements and some other criteria that may or may not be reasonable. So, of course, it's easy to think that maybe happiness works the same way, that it's something that you have to earn by meeting certain requirements that may not even be set by yourself. But that's not the truth. And when you understand that you don't have to put happiness on hold until life improves, that's when things start actually improving. So you don't have to wait to be happy. You can choose now. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, I've also made a free guide called How to Build Confidence Even If You're Starting from Zero, which goes deeper into how to take care of yourself and take control of your mindset instead of letting other people decide whether or not you should be proud or ashamed of yourself. Links in the description. I want to thank my friend again for sharing such a vulnerable story, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.